So we've got some big announcements and updates when it comes to new RPGs, some delays with the highly anticipated game, and updates with rumored titles as well, leaked games that I've covered before. So there's a lot of stuff to look forward to, especially this Japanese-inspired sci-fi RPG named Gravistar. We're going to talk about that and so much more. But before we continue, we are giving away a Nintendo Switch 2 at 140,000 subscribers or on September 1st, whichever comes first. Subscribe, like, comment. The winner will be chosen at random, and it's a worldwide giveaway. Thanks, peeps. Seattle-based developer Studio Atma, if I said that correctly, has announced Gravistar, a science fiction fantasy Japanese-style turn-based RPG over 10 years in development. Man, that's just setting themselves up for expectations. So let's talk about this. It will be available for the PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, PC, and Nintendo Switch 2, but there was no release date announced. This is featuring a fast-paced, conditional, turn-based battle system inspired by 2D arcade fighting games. Wow, that is a lot to take in here. But at first, I wasn't really interested in covering this, but then I watched the trailer. I was like, okay, let me just take a look at it. And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute, hold up here. This looks like it's doing some interesting things. Gravistar is a science fiction fantasy JRPG, Japanese-style role-playing game for PC and consoles that combines a nostalgic JRPG aesthetic with a unique and fast-paced conditional turn-based battle system inspired by 2D arcade fighting games. The battle system in Gravistar is set apart from traditional turn-based JRPGs by its attack combo input system. Alter the flow of battle, master your character's movesets, build enormous combos, and string together chains to dispatch your foes. Here's a bit more about the story. You are Baird, an orphan boy on the exoplanet Etheria, who has just violently discovered he is a specter, a rare being with power tied to the stars. Almost kind of like Mass Effect in a way. Begin your quest, meet companions, and learn to harness the power of the stars on your journey to save Etheria from a fanatic zealot hell-bent on plunging the universe into darkness. Only then can you truly fulfill your destiny. Here are some more of the key features that we're going to delve into. Story-driven campaign with over 15 hours of classic JRPG gameplay. Unleash the power of the stars to perform powerful spells and devastating combos on your enemies in a unique and fast-paced conditional turn-based battle system inspired by 2D arcade fighting games, and a cast of 5 playable companions as they race to save Athenia from darkness. Uncover the secrets of Etheria's rich history as you adventure through 5 sprawling continents. Stylistic 3D animation and the style of traditional 2D animation and hand-painted textures combine to recreate the nostalgic JRPG aesthetic of the 16 and 32-bit eras with a modern high-definition facelift. Developed by industry veteran designers, artists, and grass-fed programmers who write only the most efficient and optimized code. So this game, like I said, it was very interesting to see. It has a very unique aesthetic, and the combo-driven combat system in this game, when it comes to turn-based but then combo inputs, is interesting, and I want to see more of it. I want to see exactly how it's going to play out when you do combos, or how the battle system and leveling works. Now, they said about 15 hours, or they said over 15 hours of classic JRPG gameplay, so that doesn't seem like too much. So I'm hoping that there is a bit more extra side content and other things to do. I'm not the biggest fan of short JRPGs. I do kind of like a bit more of a mid-size to long JRPG, so 30 hours or more for most of my classic JRPGs. Now, don't get me wrong, Chrono Trigger, there are some games that are not super long, but 15 does seem a bit short. So I'm hoping that there is other stuff packed full of content to do in the game to kind of extend the value of it. But we don't know how much it costs. We don't know what the release date is. So if it's a good price, and of course it comes out and it plays well, and there's not really any bugs or glitches or issues, then I think that 15-hour playtime is fine, especially if there's replay value with harder difficulties or New Game Plus or any other stuff that you can usually unlock in JRPG games. So I'm looking forward to checking this one out. Hopefully we'll get more details maybe at a Nintendo Indie show or a Nintendo Direct or something, because this seems right up the alley of a lot of classic old school 16-bit, 32-bit players from the SNES and PS1 days. So what do you guys think about it? I think it looks pretty cool. Looking forward to seeing more of Gravistar. But now we have to move on to what's happening with Fable, because this game essentially wanted to not want any part of GTA 6 this fall. That game is coming out in November for GTA 6, so Microsoft looked at their lineup that they already have, felt that it was pretty good, and said, all right, let's go ahead and move Fable to February 2027. Here's what they had to say on Twitter first. This is a year packed with incredible games for Xbox players to enjoy. From Halo Campaign Evolved, Gears of War E-Day, and Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4 to Control Resonant, Star Wars Galactic Racer, and Grand Theft Auto 6. In order to plan our game launches through the holidays in a way that works best for players, we're moving Fable to February 2027 so it can have the dedicated moment it deserves. We're excited to be giving players a major new look at Fable, as well as our broader lineup at Xbox Games Showcase on June 7th. Also, Matt Booty had to say this, quote, "We talked about Forza Horizon 6 and how the team at Playground is doing really well. Also doing really well on Fable. The game is in great shape. The team feels really good. We're excited about where the game is. We want to make sure that the game has a window all to its own. So we are going to move it from this fall to February. And again, we really just want it to have its own moment to shine." Booty continued by saying, and related to Fable, we will be seeing more of it in the Xbox Games Showcase 2026. So we're going to have plenty for people to see. It really is coming together well, exciting stuff. And then we're going to move to February. So Fable will be available on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, and PC via Steam and Microsoft Store, as well as via the Game Pass subscription service. So this is something for me as an old school Fable fan. I played Fable 1, Fable 2, Fable 3. I love Fable 1. I like Fable 2, and Fable 3 is, to me, not very good. And of course, the Fable spin-off games and the other stuff have been terrible. Fable The Journey and all that, garbage. So I'm cautiously optimistic about Fable. Playground Games, they really only do Forza. And yes, they do Forza really well, but I haven't played anything else outside of Forza that they've done. So how is the RPG mechanics going to hold up? How is the gameplay? What's going on with this? We haven't really known too much about it, so we have to see more footage before I'm 100% sold. But if the footage and the gameplay at the upcoming Xbox Games Showcase is really good, then I'll get a bit more excited. But they really haven't shown too much of this, but it does seem like it's finally in a right spot to show off more. And I think that delaying it to February is probably a good idea, even if they don't want to admit that there might be some other issues going on outside of just they want to move out of the window of GTA. I still think that giving the team more time to prepare, giving the team something else when it comes to, okay, let's cross our T's, dot our I's with everything. Maybe there's less of a day one patch or something like that because they have the extra time. Maybe they're able to implement a couple other things, or maybe one more new element that they wouldn't have been able to implement right there at launch. So to me, it's fine. There's plenty of games. Games get delayed all the time. This isn't really a huge deal for me per se, just because, once again, I'm cautiously optimistic about Fable. I don't know if it's going to be really good. Obviously, it's a completely different developer. They haven't had Fable in like 2 decades or something like that. It's been forever since the last normal Fable game, or it's been a long time. It's been a decade plus. So for me, at least, I'm just waiting to see. Let's see how it reviews. Let's see how it plays. Let's see what people are saying about it. Let's see what gamers are saying. And hopefully it ultimately ends up turning out really good. Because like I said, I played the old school Fables, the original Xbox 360, put a ton of time into Fable 1 and Fable 2, beat the heck out of those games. So I'm looking forward to this one, and I'm hoping it really captures the magic from the original Fable and Fable 2. So what do you guys think? You guys can let me know. I know I'm excited just to see what Fable can be. And this Xbox Game Showcase is turning out to be pretty huge based on what's going on here. And it looks like we're going to have a massive month for gaming showcases and everything. Almost like E3 is back, but very different. And speaking of gaming showcases, let's talk about more with Rayman Legends Retold. I covered this game in a recent video, but now we have more information on it. So a remake of Rayman Legends titled Rayman Legends Retold will be revealed and available for pre-order no later than June 2nd around 1 a.m. PT, 4 a.m. ET, according to the reliable leaker Bill Kuhn. Now, Rayman Legends Retold is reportedly developed by Ubisoft Montpellier and features an online multiplayer cooperative mode for up to 4 players. It is said it will launch on October 1st, with physical editions available for PlayStation 5 and the Nintendo Switch 2 for only $39.99. Now, Bill Kuhn's report corroborates a recent report from Insider Gaming, which said the game will launch on October 1st. N1UP recently said that Rayman has been slightly redesigned, now with 2 separate eyes and more details on its shoes and sweater, drawstrings tied into a knot, and will receive various new skins, including looks from classic Rayman games and crossovers like Astrobot and Claire Obscure Expedition 33. Now, notable leaker Nate the Hate said Rayman Legends Retold will be announced during the State of Play broadcast on June 2nd, though the no later than pre-order time provided by Bill Kuhn contradicts this information. Before all these reports, the Twitter account Intucellular posted a logo for the game, and just yesterday posted another one for a Rayman Origins Enhanced Edition. So maybe we got multiple different old school Rayman games being updated, remade, remastered, and put on modern platforms. I like what I'm seeing so far here, or more like I like what I'm hearing so far here from Rayman, and it's good to just get Rayman back on modern platforms. It's been a while since there's been any Rayman news, pretty much for anything. All we really had was Rayman Legends more than a decade ago at this point, and that's been it. So bringing Rayman back in this type of way, and they're working on a new Rayman game as well. That's already been put out there that they're working on a new Rayman game. I think this is a way to kind of ease players in, get people who haven't played Rayman Legends, put a new coat of paint on there, new content, new different things in there, put Rayman Origins, which is also a great game as well, put them on modern platforms, get Rayman back in the spotlight, and then hit us with that new Rayman game within the next year or so. So what do you guys think when it comes to Rayman Legends Retold? I know I'm going to pick it up on the Nintendo Switch 2. Like I said, not bad on price as well. Should be fun to kind of play once again. One of the better platformers of all time. But let's talk about some more RPG goodness here. Granblue Fantasy Relink Endless Ragnarok. We got a brand new trailer. Meet the Crew Frogs trailer here. So publisher Cygames and developer Cygames Osaka have released a new Meet the Crew trailer for Granblue Fantasy Relink Endless Ragnarok, introducing new playable character Frogs, voiced by Kelly Baskin in English and Izumi Asakura in Japanese. Granblue Fantasy Relink Endless Ragnarok is due out for the PlayStation 5, Nintendo Switch 2, PlayStation 4, and PC via Steam on July 9th. The old PlayStation 4, still, how many years now? Decade and a half almost. Still getting some love with some games. And this game was originally a PlayStation 4 game anyway, so it makes sense that they would still have it on PlayStation 4. The only thing that I have an issue with, this trailer looks dope, this character looks super cool, I like her kicking and all that, but the only thing that I have an issue with is this 30 FPS thing for the Nintendo Switch 2, not even a 40 FPS mode. I think that was a mistake from what I played. I feel that they should have spent a bit more time on optimization on that, and I know some people might say, oh, well, the CPU thing and all that. Come on now, guys. We've got PS4 games like Fallout, for example. Big open world game. They've got 60, 40, and 30 FPS modes in that game, and that's on one of the crustiest engines of all time. I'm not sure if that engine was built to be running like it runs when it comes to Nintendo Switch 2, so I know that they have way more money, maybe, than Cygames when it comes to development of something. Obviously, Bethesda, Microsoft, whatever. I get that. Maybe more developers to work on it. I understand that, but at the same time, I still feel that there should have at least been a 40 FPS option on there. We know that it can be done when it comes to an action RPG on the Nintendo Switch 2 from the PlayStation 4 era. This is not a PS5 native game, it's a PS4 game, so that's the only problem, because this is a high-octane action game, and to see it not have that 60 FPS option and to only have 30 without a 40 FPS mode is just something to where I can't recommend it from what I've played so far. But if you don't care about that, if you've played games at the 30 FPS for action titles and you don't really care, or if you've played this game already on the PS4 and you want a Switch 2 version or something, then I can say, okay, it's a recommendable purchase. But right now, not so much, but this character does look pretty cool. So we'll see once the game comes out. I might check it out, might not. We'll have to wait and see. But overall, good stuff when it comes to RPGs and games coming out. There's going to be a lot of stuff to talk about and play. So what do you guys think about this? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Please make sure you hit that like button subscribe if you're someone new, click that notification bell, and check out my other Nintendo Switch 2 RPG content and more right here on screen. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you guys for the next one. Peace.